Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Blu-rayDave, back with another rant video. Yep, I rarely do rant videos. I would love to do more of these. So this has been bothering me ever since October, right? Since like the second to last episode of She-Hulk, right? Yes, you guys know which episode I'm talking about. I'm talking about the one with Daredevil in it. Yep. So we're gonna get straight to it. So way back into the good old early Daredevil Netflix days, like ever since like the show came out and like everybody loved it, right? Everybody loved the first season, right? And ever since then, people, especially fans, have been demanding, and I mean strongly demanding, that Daredevil should appear in the movies. And I agree with you. Again, back in those days, like I was pretty like limited and restricted with what I wanted to watch. Of course, with that show being the first MA show I watched as a 14-year-old, I only watched the first episode. I thought, man, this is pretty good. And I don't know why I haven't watched the rest of that season yet. But I thought too, like, I guess it would be cool if, like, Charlie Cox came up in the movies. Um, and again, this was a time when the Netflix shows were canon to the MCU. Remember that. Now it's pretty debatable. When Kevin Feige comes up with that official Marvel Studios book, like what other projects are canon to the main MCU? Like I said, hopefully Daredevil will be the only one there. So like ever since like the shows have been going on, like people they've been demanding, besides Daredevil, like they wanted everybody to be in the movies, right? And when Endgame came out, when the portal scene happened, we all thought the Defenders would pop up. I was even expecting them to. Like, even when Strange and Wong made that little joke, like is that everyone? Like, yeah, where are the Defenders, right? Like, and of course, Netflix had these stupid rules and restrictions. Since they were done, they canceled the whole shows, really. They were starting production on season 4 of Daredevil, right? But ever since 2019, when The Punisher and Jessica Jones were wrapping up, Netflix clearly made this statement, like, Disney and Marvel Studios cannot use those characters for another 2 years. And I don't know why this was in my thought process, but my mind was always like, oh, great, Netflix owns the Netflix shows, right? But, like, listen, since those shows were made by both Disney and ABC Studios, hopefully some people knew back in the day that Netflix was officially going to give them up, which thank God they did. Like, last year when we got all of the series, like, oh, man. Again, I felt like Daredevil became insanely popular again ever since the series came on Disney Plus. Like, yeah, like we need more Daredevil. Okay, so bring in Spider-Man: No Way Home, 2021, right? The first 10 minutes of the film, right? Freaking Matt Murdock, right? Like, I remember my theater, like we were just all cheering, and I was just like, "Hey, that's Daredevil, right?" And I want to make this statement very clear. There were a few times on the channel I said, "Oh, I'm never going to get into the series," but if I did go into this episode of She-Hulk with Daredevil, right? Just like how I accepted Matt Murdock in No Way Home, right? I would have been all, "Hey, I might actually like this version of Daredevil. See what they bring up as like." And if I like that version blindly without watching the show, like, let's face it, I'd be a fake fan. Let's put it that way. That's just the rule. You can't be a fake fan until you've seen something before, like the predecessor, right? Oh, man. And like I said, I am very, very, very happy that I watched Daredevil first. And I'm pretty sure I watched Defenders next after Iron Fist, and then that episode came on in October, and I was just like, this is perfect. This is something we're looking for. And unfortunately, due to the toxicity in certain fan bases, they turn their backs on the whole idea. Like, no, Daredevil, he needs to be on his own. Like, okay, listen here. You asked for this, right? Daredevil's in the MCU now. You have no right to complain. You don't get a say in that. And plus, guys, in the comics, right? In the freaking comics, right? Matt Murdock is both serious and comedic. And he wasn't very comedic in the Netflix show. I get that. Like, I'm used to that one, but, like, I want to see another side of Matt Murdock, right? Like, even behind the scenes, right? Charlie Cox, you could definitely tell he loves to smile a lot, but unfortunately, everyone behind Netflix, they're telling him not to smile as much, because I get it, like, Matt Murdock, he's still scarred from his past when he got blinded as a kid, like, he needs to be, like, dead serious all the time, even as a blind man, but, like, like, they were like, you can still smile here and there, but just need to be dead serious, like, it's straight to the point, right? And in the She-Hulk episode, he was still serious. Like, we met a serious Matt Murdock in the beginning of that episode, and then he starts getting all flirty with She-Hulk. I can't remember her other alter ego's name, so we're just gonna say She-Hulk, okay? And when he appeared in the condiment suit, that's right, we're calling it the condiment suit, 10 out of 10. Because when I heard stuff, what they were doing behind the scenes, like, oh, he's gonna wear the classic suit, I looked at some of the old comic pictures from his first debut. I thought, oh, this is gonna suck. But when he came back with his Netflix suit, but of course they had to paint it up a bit with yellow and some yellow accents, like, yes, this works. This shows the kind of suits he's still gonna get. So he's still gonna have the Netflix suits, but they're gonna be different. So still to this day, I had no idea that Daredevil had a black suit. So people, of course, with fan arts, like, they make up a black suit variant of Daredevil. Let's see. I want to show one with... Okay. Okay, so see this suit here? That's from the comics, right? But in She-Hulk, more modern, which is pretty good, right? Again, like, the MCU and Disney have been killing it with the comic book accurate suits in recent years. Like, of course, it goes all the way back to the first Iron Man, but, like, they really stepped it up. Like, you couldn't have done this, like, with every film, but then again, there was a time when I thought that was cheesy too. Like, no, these need to be modern. Like, they need to have modern suits. Like, why do you think a lot of people still love Captain America's shield stealth suit, huh? That's, like, number one for them. But, like, for me, I think I've said this on one of my action figure reviews. Like, Captain America's Infinity War suit is my number one favorite. Still, after all these 5 years, like, it's still my favorite. And, of course, you gotta acknowledge the Daredevil theme that appeared in She-Hulk. Like, you had to listen very closely when he was talking about his background. Like, I love how he's like, I'm Daredevil. And he just goes like this, like... And then I knew I saw this coming. I knew I saw this coming at the end of the episode. Like, oh, Daredevil and She-Hulk are making out. And then he does the freaking walk of shame. Apparently that was supposed to be a post-credit scene for the episode, but I'm actually happy they kept it in and not have it as a post-credit scene. But, like, oh my gosh. And when he appeared in the last episode, like, even She-Hulk admitted, like, when she talked to Kevin behind the scenes of MCU, right? Like, she just wanted him in, you know, like, as, like, a last-minute thing. And he finally met Bruce Banner, the Hulk. And this gives the street level and Earth-like heroes in general opportunities here. Like, if you guys saw Guardians 3, here's a little spoiler here, okay? Peter Quill goes back to Earth finally. So you know what this means? Star-Lord and Daredevil could possibly frickin' team up in the future. So hopefully in the Kang Dynasty, like, man, imagine if Star-Lord appeared in Daredevil. Like, of course, there has to be limits and restrictions on that, right? Like, sure, there's some of us true fans that still want him to cross over with other characters, but Disney, you need to be careful with this, okay? Like, not every episode can include just, like, one MCU character at a time. Like, I'm happy that the Punisher is coming back. Some people were speculating that Jessica Jones might come back, and Luke Cage. Like, Daredevil Born Again could literally bring back the Defenders, and how would that launch the Defenders, like, getting their own series? Well, I'm still on Finn Jones' side on this one. Like, he wants a Disney Plus Heroes for Hire series with him and Mike Coulter. You know, like how Luke Cage and Iron Fist were like in the comics. Like, you don't have to give them their own separate series. Like, you could Literally have a team up series, because if you've seen, like, besides Defenders, like, if you saw that one episode in season 2, Luke Cage, that's my only favorite episode. Well, that's actually the only good episode in Luke Cage, like the Heroes for Hire episode, like when him and Danny got to fight side by side again, but it was just them. Like, they're like, wow, wow, like I wish I can talk to Finn Jones himself so we can figure out some ways how to develop Danny's character. Now, again, don't get me wrong. I still love the show Iron Fist, right? Like I said, I love the first season more than the second season, which is pretty debatable because most people love the second season more than the first one. Like, you know what? It's okay. I respect your opinions on what you think of the show, but it's just do not bring down on Finn Jones, okay? Because he really did give his all to the character, and he really wants to try again. Like, Shang-Chi, they should have reintroduced Danny Rand, you know, because I had no idea he had some connection with Iron Fist. So if we can make that happen in the future, like, great. However, we bring in Danny Rand, you know? What else? I mean, guys, regardless how Born Again is gonna be, like the series, it's it's still gonna remain in our hearts, like the way we remembered it, and literally season 3 is my favorite season. Like I've always debated on which season was my favorite. I know 2 was mixed. Um, the first season could have done better without what's his name, Wisely, like, you know, the Kingpin's like right hand man. Like, oh, he was just so annoying. But you know what was kind of cool about the Netflix shows? Like, sure, I'm all for like references and all that pop culture stuff. Some people would say, "Oh, that's dated." Like, no, like I'm actually happy that they toned this down with the series. Like, whatever you're watching, like the incident or a flying suit of armor or a hammer. You know, like, oh my gosh, or even like the big green guy. They say, like, every time they mention like they reference like the incident, like, oh yeah, the Avengers. Like, still back then, again, these were canon, but they had slight but vague references to the movies. And of course, the shows have budget restrictions, right? But Charlie Cox is actually happy with the CGI work that they're doing, especially like what they did in She-Hulk. Like, no doubt in my mind, I still agree with you guys that the choreography in the show was great. Like, stunt doubles, like real performances, like I want to say there was no CGI, but like you got to consider like at least like with Bullseye scenes, right, in season 3. Um, that's like the one example I could say, but like if I missed anything, you could let me know in the comments below. Um, at least we know that the CGI is gonna get better, okay? Like to me, it didn't look crappy at all when Daredevil had CGI scenes, right? And he's gonna appear again in Echo. But from what I'm hearing from the what is it called, the writer's strike that's been going on. This is the first time I've heard about a writer's strike. Apparently, there's been a writer's strike since 07, 08, and 09, but this is the first time I'm hearing about this. They had to shut down production of Born Again for now, and I really hope that they keep their March release date for next year, because oh my gosh, I wonder how Charlie feels about this. I'm sure he feels upset about it, which I wouldn't blame him. And I do agree with everyone else too on this when it comes to Born Again. He cannot be 100% comedic all the time. I get that, okay? Like, again, this could be finally Charlie Cox's time for him to, like, be more smiley, you know, expressive like that, right? But I'm I'm pretty sure he's not going to let us, the fans, down, okay? Whatever he's going to bring to the table, right? Because he cares, all right? And that's why I like. And I really do hope this show also confirms about the Netflix show, too. Like, we gotta know. We have so many questions that want answered, guys. So, guys, whenever Daredevil is crossing over with another, or teaming up with another Avenger or possibly Guardian, you do not get to complain, okay? You got what you wanted. You got your wish come true ever since 2015, so now you can't complain, alright? I'm pretty sure Charlie is aware of this too. Like, if he is aware, then just think of, like, how, I guess, devastated he would be if he found out, like, this, like, oh, no, the fans want me to be on my own now. Like, they're okay with that now, like. And I don't want to hear it, you guys in the comments, like, well, Blu-ray, didn't you feel at least, like, something in the back of your head a little bit, like, oh, you want him to be alone too? Like, no. Mm-mm. Heck, no. Like, Daredevil's in the MCU, like I said, and I'm happy to see where this goes. Like, again, it's not just gonna be because of the fan service, okay? It's because Kevin Feige saw the potential with Charlie from the Netflix series, and they brought him back. Like, you cannot replace Charlie Cox, okay? He's the man for the job. And if they're still continuing with Spider-Man freshman year, then we know that Charlie Cox will reprise his role as Daredevil, but, like, voice act. And he's going to have the black and red shirt, and the mask is going to have the horns, but still, like, oh my gosh. Younger me would have been all like, oh yes, this is all connected to the MCU now, but, like, no. When you're a fan of these things, you need to be cautious, like, skeptical, and, yes, cautiously optimistic, right? Because we can't just assume, like, oh, this is canon, that's canon. Like, no. No. I don't even want frickin' Jessica Jones, the series, to be canon. Ugh. Too much feminist crap going around. Ugh. Just, guys, yeah, just really take that into consideration. Is this show actually canon to the MCU still? Because, I mean, pretty sure you guys thought when Netflix canceled all the shows, like, they cut ties. Like, no, they're no longer canon, right? Well, maybe it did end there. But again, when Kevin Feige comes out with the book, sometime this year, right? I'm sure we're going to get all of our answers. Yeah, we're all going to have our questions answered, right? Because seriously, I would love to put this series into my MCU collection. I know where to put them. And Disney would have to put the shows in between the MCU canon. And thank God Bob Iger is still thinking about physical media, because, I mean, hey, most of us have season 3 on physical because Netflix never made an official release. Like, these, let's see, these real, like, copies, they're so hard to get, guys. Alright, well, I was lucky with season 1. I think I got it at the same retail price, but this one, thank God, a friend of mine, like, bought this for me, so I just want to say thank you again to him. And, you guys know that I also have the UK copy of Iron Fist. So, if Bob Iger wants to do more than just release the Disney Plus originals that came out, hopefully he'll look back into the Netflix series and be like, listen, the fans are truly passionate about this stuff. We need to give them everything, alright? So, like, let's go back to basics. And, yeah, like, can you imagine just, like, Bob Iger announcing, like, besides hopefully potential future Disney Plus physical media releases, but we're going to announce the Marvel Netflix shows on Blu-ray, and you guys will be able to get them. So that means you'll be able to get season 3 of Daredevil, the whole entire series of Iron Fist, seasons 2 and 3 of Jessica Jones, season 2 of Luke Cage, and the whole series of The Punisher, right? And the Defenders. Let's not forget about the Defenders. And I'm happy that I got all of my Disney Plus stuff for Star Wars. For now, like, I'm caught up. Just, again, whenever Bob decides to announce that, like, I'll still keep them, and I want to do comparisons, right? That's why I said I want to wait a little bit on the Marvel Studios ones, just in case if Bob Iger ever does announce them soon, then, like, okay, then there's no need for me to get the bootlegs of the Marvel Studios Disney Plus shows, right? And I mean, if Disney were to release the other Netflix shows on Blu-ray, would they still want to continue going with these fonts, covers, whatever, and maybe the comic book ones? Or would they just want to go with, I don't want to say something basic, no, like something different, you know? Like, I mean, of course, you got to expect different stuff when it comes to this kind of stuff. Um, what else? I mean, I could talk about this all day with you guys. Like, if we could do a live stream talking about the Netflix shows, like, I've already made my 3 hour discussion on the Netflix shows months back. But if you want to talk about the shows with me, let me know in the comments so we could definitely do that. Yeah, like I said, there could be so much potential here with Daredevil because he's still a big deal right now in the House of Mouse. Like, even little boys, like they will want to dress up as Daredevil for Halloween, whatever. Like Daredevil is literally going to be a bigger icon, like, for everybody. Like, okay, I'm probably assuming that there were younger kids back in that time when Daredevil came out and they watched it. Like, as long as you had your parents around with you, you know, like the show was good, but there's a reason why all the shows are mature audiences. Um, I guess I really got nothing much to say here other than what can we take away from this, guys? Well, just be grateful that Daredevil is in the MCU, okay? Like, don't be fearing with, like, especially with Disney. Like, Disney in recent years has been pushing the boundaries for darker tones, right? Like, if Born Again goes for the Winter Soldier like vibes for the show, that'd be great. But like, ever since I watched Guardians 3 recently, like, I loved how graphic it was too, especially for a PG-13 movie. Like, yes, Disney has potential here with this. Like, and you guys know with Marvel Zombies coming up, you know that's going to be Disney's first MCU MA series, right? So they're going to go with the What If animation and like, yes, because if you guys don't know this about me, my all-time favorite episode from Marvel's What If is Marvel Zombies, just because like how well executed it was, like even how like they can put some gore into a TV-14 stance and like see how audiences will like it. Like, I have heard no complaints about it, especially like from kids. Like, hey, yep, Disney saw the potential here. Like, yep, we're gonna make Marvel Zombies. Let's get it. Yeah, like I said, I've said this so many times. I really wish I could have joined the fandom with you guys years ago. Of course, I'm late to the party, but like, you know, better late than never, right? Um, and of course, there was another reason why I couldn't get into these, like, as much as I wanted to. Like, with these Blu-ray releases, I know my parents wouldn't allow me to get these, you know? Even if I were trying to buy them in secret, um, I mean, I'm sure they wouldn't have noticed, you know? I'm pretty sure my dad is still fine with, like, Ben Affleck's Daredevil because he's seen that movie. I still gotta show him the director's cut, but, um, yeah, this show will always remain special to me in my heart. It's as much it remains in your guys' hearts as well. Like, I had no idea. I had no idea how good of a series it is. Like, if you're looking to watch something really good, like if you're bored out of your freaking mind, go to Disney Plus, have the parental controls, and go to the Defender Saga and watch Daredevil. I always recommend it to people all the time, like especially at work. Like, hey, go watch Daredevil. You know. Like I said, I'm not gonna complain about Matt Murdock's MCU appearances and his debuts now. So like, you guys better be be freaking grateful, right? Like, maybe you guys are waiting for just a trailer or when this series comes out and then you guys will change your mind. I find it really stupid that people, they find other things quote unquote stupid and then years to come they appreciate this thing more because like with Andrew Garfield, like when he came back in No Way Home, and even I agree with Andrew on this one, like where were you frickers back in 2014 after TASM 2 came out, huh? Answer him that. You say you're fans. Huh. Liars. Alright, so that's all I have to say for this rant. So, thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Please turn the post notification bell and share my content if you haven't already. And tell me, guys, are you excited for Born Again? And do you think the writers' strike is going to end soon? Like, it probably will. Apparently, filming is supposed to end this December, so if they can still keep that up, like, good. I mean, of course, don't rush. Just take your time. Like that's something that Phase 4 has failed to do. Minus No Way Home. Just take your time with your crap, right? Remember, quality over quantity, right? Alright, again, you guys have a good night now. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for bye. And may the Lord be with you guys. Always love you guys. Peace out, guys. And let's just try to be friendly to each other in the Daredevil community, right? Come on, guys. It's not that hard. Alright, you have a good night, guys. Bye.